I did a video on this Ford F450 and you guys saw a paper in the glove box that said you cannot haul a camper with it. Now obviously there's a reason for that and we're going to explain it here in a second. I borrowed these trucks from Larry H. Miller Super Ford here in Salt Lake City. Be sure to ask for Ken Tanner because this truck is available. Diego sold this one. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see why this dually, which is an F450, cannot haul a camper. Now you guys can see on this option list there's no camper package, right? There's a camper package that you can purchase on these trucks for $160. Doesn't matter if it's an F450 all the way down to an F250, they are available. Now you see this truck behind me, this is a limited. Unfortunately, if you want this truck, an F350 or F250, you cannot get that camper package. However, they do have what's called a heavy service front suspension, but they're not the same thing. Here is a 7.3 with this camper package. So you guys can see right here, it says camper package for $160. It says heavy service front suspension. If you don't get that package, you'll get a paper like this, basically saying your pickup is not recommended for carrying a slide-in camper. Now, obviously a slide-in camper is one that goes in the bed, and there's a lot of parameters that you have to follow. So, in other words, when you get the camper package, it gives you that certification. So let's go online really quickly. I want to show you guys just some things that come on that package, okay? And then we'll jump back in the video. I'm on Ford's website, and I'm just going to pick a truck. We'll just use this F450 XLT. If you scroll down, you guys will see here, camper package for $160. So if you click for more information, it'll pretty much explain what the package is and what it gives you. And you guys can see here it's available on XL all the way up to the King Ranch. Now, if you're looking at dual rear wheels, you can get it on the Platinum. However, if you don't know this, the package is not available for trucks that have 20-inch wheels, trimmer off-road, or pickup box delete. So I'll explain this in a video later on, but you guys can see here what it includes. If you have a 4x2 truck, it gives you extra heavy service for the front springs. If you have four-wheel drive, it gives you heavy service front springs. And then you guys see rear auxiliary springs, rear stabilizer bar, and slide and camper certification. So you get all that for $160. So yes, when you get that camper package, it does upgrade the front suspension and probably the rear suspension for a dually. I'm willing to bet you though, for these single rear wheels, you're probably getting more of an upgrade. So you guys can see that stabilizer bar. It actually looks different from what I've seen in the past. Now you guys can see the suspension here. You have 4 leaves in the main pack and an overload. The spring rate could be different for those leaves. Okay, and on the dually, this one too has a stabilizer bar, but it doesn't have the camper package. But like I said, when you get that camper package, it gives you the upgrade for the suspension and you get the certification, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So this truck does have the camper package, as you guys just saw, and here is what they're talking about. So truck camper loading. So be sure to pause. I'm not going to read everything. You guys can see down here cargo weight, okay? Then it shows you the center of gravity zone for front and rear. So I guess if you fall within this guideline, this is the maximum, and so on and so forth. So this truck has a big payload, which I'll show you guys here in a second. I did a separate video on this too, but again, be sure to pause it down below so you guys can read through this. I'm sure they have some of this online as well, so you have a towing guide that you can look up. And if I have time, maybe in the video I'll show that to you. But let's go ahead and talk about something else. Unfortunately, if you're looking at high trim levels on single rear wheel trucks, whether it be F250 or F350, you cannot get that camper package. You probably have to move up to a F350 dually or F450. I think Platinum down, you can get the camper package, okay? So this truck here has the heavy service front suspension. It's for $125. Can you use a truck like this with a bed camper? Let's find out. So right here, you guys can see this has the same sticker that was in that F450 dually. So no, you cannot use this truck for a bed camper. Now obviously if you want this interior, that sucks, because unfortunately Ford does not allow you to build a truck with a camper package, and it's probably in part to the fact that you do lose a lot more capacity on these trucks because of the extra things that you get, right? So you do have to choose a platinum for the F350 and F450 dualies if you want the nicer interiors. When you get the camper package, that will increase your rating for your front axle to 5,200 pounds. This is a gas truck, by the way. Now, if you're looking at the XL model, you can get the camper and snowplow prep package, and that will actually increase that rating to 5,900 pounds. So if you get the work truck model, you can get way more capacity on the axle. I mean, you probably don't really need that, but for some people it's always good to have more than less, right? So the truck I did a video on, it was a 6.8 liter, and I remember seeing the 5990 gross axle weight rating up front. Now if you get a long bed truck, obviously you're going to get more gross vehicle weight rating, which is going to give you more payload. But this being a standard bed truck, you guys can see this having the 7.3, as I said, you have almost 4,400 pounds of payload capacity. So when you're thinking about building these trucks, always make sure to ask these questions like, what is the camper package? And depending on the trim level that you're trying to get, it might limit you to what you can. So even if you get the heavy service suspension like on that Limited back there, that does not qualify that truck to be able to haul a bed camper. Now again, most people out there probably don't even know about the camper package, and they probably didn't even opt for it. So in my humble opinion, there are probably people who still put campers in the bed and still haul them and probably have no issues. But it's always good to know what some of these packages are. I've always wondered what the camper package was. I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't know what it entailed. So now you guys saw in this video, you have to pick that even on the F450. I think that's kind of a fail on Ford's part, because an F450 should have the camper package standard at the very least. But here's something you have to understand, and why I know Ford doesn't do it. It's simply because of the ride. If you get that camper package, obviously it's going to stiffen up the front suspension, right? Which means you're going to have a harsher riding truck. So understandably, that's why they make it an option, because if no one's planning on carrying a bed camper, then why buy extra stuff for your truck? So I understand the theory behind it, but if I were buying an F450, I would expect the ride to be bad. I would want it to be able to be capable enough to carry a bed camper. But apart from that, I hope this video was helpful. As I've mentioned, a few people in one of the videos I did on this red dually were asking, why can't this truck haul a camper? And I'm pretty sure they probably were thinking hauling meaning towing. So I wanted to clear that up. Yes, you can tow up to like 34,000 pounds for that truck, something crazy like that. And so yes, you can still tow a big trailer with that truck, way more than what this truck can tow. But as far as hauling goes, yes, this truck can actually haul more camper because it's rated to do so. Man, that was a really good mic drop, and I completely forgot to show you guys the numbers on the door for the white truck. So 5990. So with the XL model trucks, they get basically the same axle up front as the diesels do, because the video I did was on an F250 with a 6.8 liter gas engine. And so yes, they basically have the same axle rating when you get the XL with the camper and snowplow prep. Lastly, I'll show you guys this one. So 5,600 pound is for the F450, although this is a regular cab. So with a crew cab, it could be 5,990 as well. But again, hope the video was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you guys soon. I mentioned this earlier in the video, so I want to show it to you really quickly. If you go into Ford's towing guide on their website, they do have a spot here for the Super Duties for the maximum cargo weight with the sliding camper. So these numbers here are showing you the maximum cargo weight rating, shows you the engines, wheelbases, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, so you have an idea of how much weight the truck could have. Now obviously if you get any options that are heavy, those will affect your payload, so just keep that in mind. But on the side here, it gives you some other information. Just be sure to pause it. But this is just good stuff to have if you do plan on getting a bed camper. So yeah, just check out their website
See you guys soon.